Taking off my sneakers to the ground. I do not jump, I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm top down. Look, I'ma call it swagger. I slip through time zones like a cloak and dagger. Mad rubies on my chain. You can see your pain, bubbling blood vein. Your girl's in my A because she's sipping on my champagne. That's right, 6 figures in my back pocket. And that's right, 1 million in my safe deposit. That's right, I'm trill all day. On my way to...
What's up, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great start to their week. Welcome into the Best Damn Clemson show, where we cover the latest news in the sports world. I'm Evan Cooley, and today I'm joined by...
What's up? It's Cole Gerard. Welcome back for another episode.
All right, everybody, and today we'll be diving into more college football. A lot of teams, surprisingly, have already played half of their regular season games, which is hard to believe. It feels like just yesterday the season was getting started. But today we will discuss Clemson's win against Florida State and the ups and downs from that game. We'll also look ahead at the matchup against Wake Forest this upcoming weekend. We'll talk about Clemson's rise in the polls. They're now at number 10. And lastly, we'll get into our top matchups of the weekend and our picks for those games and what's looking like an exciting weekend of college football. And as always, we want this show to be about you, the fans. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll be sure to address them during the show today. All right, Cole. So Clemson's won 4 straight games, looking good. Everyone counted them off before the season started, and especially after that Georgia game. But now people are starting to show some more respect to the Tigers. What are your thoughts on Clemson's win against Florida State this past weekend?
You know, you're always going to take any kind of W on the road, especially at Florida State. Florida State's a tough atmosphere to play at. Doesn't matter if they're 0-6, 1-5, 1-4. You know, I've been really pleased with the offense the last 5 weeks or since the Georgia game. You know, defense has stepped up a little bit, even with injuries. Got Peter Woods back this past week.
Yep.
I mean, we won 29-13 and had 500 yards of offense. Should have put up some more points, but hey, you'll take what you like. Davis said you're gonna take a win, but then we got to be a little bit better on the play calling side in the red zone. And Dabo kind of said that today, that we got to clean that stuff up, and they'll be fine. And they had some opportunities that they could have done something, but they chose the other thing. But shout out to Nolan Hooser. I think he made. Let me get onto the kicking. I think he 5 out of 7 field goals, so he scored more points than FSU himself. So there's an honor. It kind of sounds like Jonathan White's last year versus South Carolina, but good win on the road. I was hoping we got to play our former guy DJ Uiagalelei, but it seems like the Florida State fans are very pleased with Brock Lynn's play. I mean, he didn't play bad. He had a lot of receivers drop balls that could have kept them in the game. So it got a little scary there late in the stretch.
Yeah. I agree. I think that the offense definitely left some points out there on the board that would have been nice to have. But obviously, shout out to Nolan, like you said. He had a great day, 5 field goals. Obviously, those 2 got blocked, which I'm sure will get cleaned up in practice this week, making sure that the edge gives him some more protection. But overall, I think it was a good game. Offensively, put together a lot of drives. I mean, even though they didn't get in the end zone as many times as they could have, they still got all the way down the field into short field goal range. Didn't force no one to go out there for any super long field goals. And down the line, those field goals are gonna have a much bigger purpose down the line, being able to get those 3 points on the board consistently. And defensively, I think there was a lot of uncertainty going into the game because Brock Glenn was the starter. You didn't know what play calling you were going to see from that Florida State offense, which gave Florida State a bit of an advantage because they really could go out there and do whatever they wanted to. And it was definitely tough, I imagine, for Clemson to game plan defensively last weekend. But they played well, only gave up 13 points. And I want to give shout out also to them for all the turnovers that they've forced over the last 2 weeks. They forced 6 turnovers.
Sorry to interrupt. We still haven't allowed any points in the first quarter.
Yeah. Amazing stat. Yeah, if you shut out your opponents in the first quarter and can force turnovers each game, then you're setting your offense up pretty well. I think really all three phases of the game, special teams, offense, and defense, are all working off each other. We're not having to go into the games praying that the defense can get a stop every single drive, to keep the offense in the game. I think the main thing is the trust that you're seeing in this team. I feel like everybody on this team trusts each other to go out and execute their assignments and do a good job. And I think we're really seeing that over these last 4 games.
You want to know what just shows that this is a different led team, or same coaching staff outside of like Matt Luke and Rumpf and guys like that, but like K Klubnik goes down, I was scared. Scared. I was like, okay. Yeah. And then they showed the replay. Like Tristan Lee accidentally just kind of nudged him in the head a little bit. But you get Chris Vazina, and Kate has to come out for a play because it was in the head. Evaluation, he was fine. They didn't even take him to the tent. Christopher Vazina comes in. You think he's gonna like run a QB draw or like just hand it to Phil, get K back on the field, airs it out. And I'm like, jeez. If he wouldn't have got held, I thought it was a PI. They didn't call it. I mean, it could have been a touchdown. And he aired it out first play. I was like, okay, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, me too. I think everything right now is going exactly the way Clemson fans and this team and the players and the coaches want it to go. They rebounded from that Georgia loss. They've set themselves up to really go undefeated down the rest of the regular season. And then come that ACC title game, assuming they'll get there, it's looking like right now I would say Miami or SMU. SMU has surprised me a lot. I like SMU.
You know what's crazy, man? I mean, Miami could have 2 conference losses already.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know who Miami's got on the rest of their schedule, but outside of Cam Ward and Restrepo, I feel like they have no weapons. Like, how did Cal lose to FSU and they're out there playing football like that versus Miami? That quarterback's not bad at all.
Yeah, 38-18 lead with 10 minutes left in that game.
That's a great comeback, Miami, but those freaking calls were terrible.
Yeah.
You can't launch. I don't care if he barely grazes his head. If you can't launch yourself into somebody.
Yeah.
That's the written rule. So, like, if it's written like that, why are you not going to call it if you're just going to?
Yeah. Yeah, but one thing I will say is a lot of the best teams are able to face a lot of adversity. And this Miami team the last 2 weeks, against Virginia Tech 2 weeks ago, they were down 28-18, I believe. They came back. They had a 10-point deficit going in that fourth quarter. They came back and won that one. And then last week, obviously down 38-18, fourth quarter, not looking good. They found a way to come back. And I think that's a sign of a lot of great teams is can you face that adversity and overcome some of those deficits?
And that almost scares me with Virginia Tech. They might have 3 losses. They're 3-3 right now. This close team has to go to Blacksburg.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're very tough. We're a very tough team on the road. We can handle road atmospheres. Like, obviously we saw that at Florida State, but that wasn't even 100% capacity with the renovations going on. And another thing, looking at our schedule, we might be playing an undefeated Pitt. If they keep winning right now, looking at their schedule, there's no reason they shouldn't be undefeated when we go.
Yeah.
Potential game day in Pittsburgh, who knows? But this Clemson team, I don't like when people say that, man, our schedule's so easy. It could be a lot tougher. It really could. That's not Dabo's fault. He doesn't make it, but we have some tough road games, and it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so far this season, Clemson's gotten lucky with their schedule, but it's not really lucky because they're playing their ACC schedule. It just so happens that the teams that they've faced early on haven't had great starts to the season.
Right.
But going in, everyone thought Florida State was going to be a very good team, and they were predicted to win the ACC heading into the season. And a lot of people had this matchup this last weekend circled as the game of the year in the ACC, including myself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be college game day. It's supposed to be win-loss Clemson versus maybe undefeated FSU. So. Things can go a lot of different directions. If you told me that Clemson with 1 loss would be heading into Pitt, who would be undefeated later on down the line this season, I would say you're crazy saying that Pitt would be undefeated 3/4 of the way through the season, but we'll see. It can go either way, these games for these teams, but
I mean, right now, talking about Clemson specifically, I think they're in a great spot, number 10 in the rankings, right where they want to be.
It's just a very confident group, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts with number 2, K Klubnik.
Yeah.
You go from, you get your first start as a freshman in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play bad. We did not play bad at all. We missed 5 field goals.
Yeah.
You held Tennessee a lot, and then they kind of blew it. We blew it in the fourth quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. But he gets his first season starts last year. We're 4-4 at one point. We're just ready to. You would think that this locker room should lay it on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Try to win 2 more games. We'll be 6-6. Go to the bowl. I'm like, geez, I don't know what we're setting up for right here.
Yeah.
Ended up being 4-4 and went out. Got a top 15th ranked Notre Dame coming in. And everybody's like, oh, no shot, we're winning. No shot, our offense does anything. And our offense really didn't even play great that game. I remember we just found a way to win.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying, even with a 4-loss team, great teams find a way to win. And it kind of feeds off to this year with the confidence Kate Klubnik has. And just that you could just tell he's a different quarterback than last year. The decision he makes, last year, if he leaves the pocket, he's going to freak out and throw it 100 yards out of bounds, or he's just going to get sacked. Now he's looking at the field. He's looking above the field, and he's getting like 60 rushing yards a game from that. He's got more rushing yards in 5 games than he did in 12 or 13 last year. So I could be nothing but happy with number 2.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you could make the argument that Cade Klubnik's most improved player in the country from last season to this season. You look at his stats, he has 1,200 passing yards. He has 14 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns. So he's got 18 total touchdowns, and he only has 2 interceptions this season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on pace for nearly 40 touchdowns if he keeps it going.
Yeah.
So.
And knock on wood, I'm very pleased with the offensive side outside of the 2 interceptions that were kind of just one look, where Georgia can't. I was fine with that interception because he just wanted to throw it downfield. But knock on wood, as I said, I'm very pleased with the Phil Maffa and guys like that, Jay Haynes not fumbling, because from game 1 we were just dropping the ball all over the field. Yeah. It's good to see that's been cleaned up.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk more about this Clemson team after a short word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of scrolling endlessly to find the perfect deal?
Who said that?
Me.
Ah! Who are you? How did you get in my house?
Be not afraid. I'm the Frugal Fairy. See, at the Frugaling Shop, we bring the best deals to your doorstep, so you can spend less time searching and more time saving.
Yes, hello? There's a man with wings standing in my living room, and I'm scared.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. That's what Harbor Oasis became for me, a slice of home in Anderson, South Carolina. I stumbled upon this heartwarming marketplace. Roaming through aisles of handcrafted treasures and local art, I felt each piece whispering stories of passion and dedication. It's a place where warmth meets creativity. Join me in experiencing this magical oasis. Explore the beauty, attend soul-enriching workshops, and support local artisans. See for yourself how Harbor Oasis can become a part of your story too. Experience the joy today at Harbor Oasis, located at 5013 SC 24 in Anderson. Have you ever stumbled upon a flavor sensation that sweeps you off your feet? That's Waffle Drop. Nestled in the heart of Greenville, we've spun up the traditional bubble waffle, a thrilling mix of pancake and waffle into an art form. From the whimsical Lil Blue Panda to the decadent Ferrero Rocher ice cream, every bite is an adventure. Imagine savoring a bubble waffle wrapped around your favorite ice cream. Now stop imagining. Visit us at Hampton Station or our new location at 500 Congaree Road in Greenville, which is open during the week to embark on your own delightful journey. Buy now and feel the happiness we blend into every serving. Experience the joy today at Waffle Drop.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. And Clemson will be taking the road this weekend as they are set to face off against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is 2-3 heading into this game, and Clemson enters as a 20-point favorite. Cole, what are your initial thoughts heading into this game?
It's always it's fun going to play it in Winston-Salem versus Wake Forest. Last time I was there, we had an overtime shootout with Sam Hartman's last year at Wake before he transferred to Notre Dame for his fifth. They're 2-3 going into this game. And they'd be a 1-win team coming into this game, but they beat NC State on the road, and that's a great win. They're very confident coming to this game. They're looking to beat us at home as they are every year. But at the end of the day, they're 2-3, and we're a 4-1 group coming in here. With the most confidence we've had in the last 4 years. So
yeah,
I mean, with the circumstances of us having all those red zone drives not complete last Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised if we come out here and drop 50, 60 points.
Yeah, I agree fully. Looking at the games that they've played so far, they killed North Carolina A&T, and then they lost to Virginia by 1 point. Virginia's a good team this year. They're doing well in conference play. And then they got destroyed by Ole Miss and then suffered a surprising loss at home to the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And then obviously, as you just mentioned, they came away with a close victory at NC State last weekend, which is a big win for them. What I noticed, though, is that they can score. Against Ole Miss, they only came away with 6 points. But outside of that, they've scored over 30 in every single game. I think our defense is going to be the best defense that they've faced up there with Ole Miss. But I would take our defense against Ole Miss's defense all day long. So I think Wake Forest will be able to get something going on offense, but defensively, they haven't shown the ability to stop anyone this year, giving up a lot of points, 31 points, 40 points, 41 points, 30 points. So I think that them coming in, or when Clemson comes to town, Clemson's offense right now is probably a little bit behind Ole Miss's, but right there with Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's definitely close.
Yeah.
If I said that early in the season, people would laugh at me probably because Ole Miss. I mean, people had Ole Miss projected in the the national championship game, and it's still on the table for them. They're a one-loss team. I'm not saying it's not, but they play in the SEC. It's a tough conference, but I really, and this guy makes a great point in the comments, kind of he says, are y'all as convinced as I am that Dabo went conservative on play calls in the red zone because he knows D would continue to stifle FSU's offense and he didn't need to run it up? I can kind of agree with him. I really do think that it kind of came down, Cade Klubnik had already been hit that game. He wasn't – I guess he was – there's 100 different narratives you could go to, but maybe he knew our defense would show up, which I can agree with. But at the end of the day, it's Florida State. Punch it down their throat. And he's a Dog fan. So anyways – but, talking about this Wake Forest game, Ole Miss put up 40 against them at Wake Forest. But, like I said, with the circumstances of us missing all those red zone drives, I mean, we had 5 in a row, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we just go.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
And and I'm surprised that we're only favored by 20, to be honest. If you're listening in right now and are a betting man, I would say it's probably safe to bet that Clemson's going to win
by
more than 20 points. But we'll see come Saturday. But, I mean, I think that, this is another game for Clemson where there's going to be a lot of guys that get a lot of playing time, a lot of young guys that earn some action there in the second half. But, I mean, it's another opportunity to go 1-0 and improve to 5-1 on the season. Sitting at 5-1 halfway through the season, great place to be if you're a Clemson fan. I mean,
I was kind of, and I'm not going to speak too much about it because Dabo always says we don't care, we could be unranked, this and that.
Yeah,
we don't care. But I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, obviously we're in the top 10. I'm gonna say that every day. I just don't see how Alabama loses the worst game in program history.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the SEC. Tennessee goes on the road at Arkansas, and I just feel like we should be ranked above these guys, and that's my opinion. I mean, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to agree with me,
You could make the argument there that Alabama did beat Georgia, and we lost to Georgia.
Yeah, that's fine. But an 0-60 opponent versus top 5, a team that's 0-60 all time against top 5, and you lose on the road there when the stadium's all crimson, red. I mean, and then 2 weeks ago, Nick Saban makes the point that it's hard. It's SEC. Every stadium in the SEC is hard to play except Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
they win and they play the quote on the big screen. It was just awesome. I mean, I loved every bit of it, and that quarterback was just ripping F-bombs on ESPN. He had to go apologize. I was like, don't you apologize? Heck no. You get to do it in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the only time they ever do that ever again. And I think that's the first Cobbers win in how long? Weren't they 0-20 coming in that game?
I think, probably something like that. It's been a while. That Vanderbilt's not a bad team this year. They almost came away with the win at Missouri.
Yeah.
You know. I think Vanderbilt's gonna be a bowl team this year for sure. So,
I don't see why not.
Yeah. They got South Carolina coming into town soon. That's gonna be an interesting
their schedule
one.
plays out too. I mean, they could beat Kentucky.
Do they have Auburn on their schedule?
They got Kentucky this week. Then they got Ball State. Then they're gonna actually get destroyed by Texas. But that's at home. You never know. Then they got Auburn, South Carolina, LSU, Tennessee. So I mean, they're a 3-win team. You just win that Kentucky, Ball State, and Auburn game, you're going bowling.
What if Vanderbilt gives Texas their welcome to the SEC moment? I'm
here for it. Yeah, dude, heck yeah. I mean, after beating Bama, anything's possible. I don't know if Quinn Ewers is back, is he?
Yeah, he is. He's playing this week against Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. We'll be right back to discuss the top games this upcoming weekend after a short word from our sponsors.
Nick and Norman's is a brand new restaurant on the West End. Located at 1 Augusta Street, we are bringing unique Southern-inspired cuisine and a speakeasy vibe to Greenville. Created by an ownership group headlined by Norman Reedus and Greg Nicotero, Nick and Norman's is more than just a restaurant. It's a destination for an unforgettable dining experience. Our hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Our phone number is 864-236-5446. We also have a private dining room, so call for booking. Be sure to follow us on social media, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
They say a home is a safe haven, but what about when that safety is threatened? Last year, a storm hit our area hard, and suddenly the roof over my head, my family's shelter, was compromised. I felt vulnerable. But then Canopy Roofing stepped in. Their dedication, much like that of a caring family, restored more than just our roof. They restored our sense of security. If you're ever in need, let Canopy protect your haven too. Experience the same peace of mind. See for yourself how Canopy Roofing can safeguard your family's comfort and safety.
Have you ever bitten into a pizza and just known your taste buds were experiencing something totally unique? That was me at Crust and Craft in Greenville. Nestled right at 123 South Main Street, this isn't your average pizza joint. Their claim of "we do pizza differently" couldn't be truer. With creations like the Low Country Seafood Boil Pizza and exquisite $10 lunch specials, they're crafting flavors that defy the norm. Plus, the vibe? Unbeatable, especially with their new cocktail menu to sip on the patio. Head over to Crust and Craft Greenville, taste the difference for yourself, and seriously, do not miss out on their happy hour. Grab your slice of heaven today.
Ever find yourself needing custom gear that really stands out? At Carolina Printing Sports and Trophy in Hartsville, SC, we personalize everything from t-shirts to trophies, making sure your brand or team logo pops. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, or dazzling plaques, we've got you covered. Swing by today and let's create something unique just for you.
Welcome back, everyone. We have some great games this weekend, one of the best weekends we've had in a long time in college football. So Cole and I are going to go over our picks for those games, and feel free to comment in the chat who you think is going to come away with the win in these games as well. Let's start off, Cole. We got some Friday Night Lights action with number 16 Utah traveling to Arizona State to face the Sun Devils. Who do you have coming away with that one?
I'm taking Utah all day, man.
Mhm.
All day.
Yeah, me too. I don't
I
know the
don't think it's
last
gonna be
time I've seen
close.
Utah lose at night. Utah does not lose night games.
Not at all.
So give me Utah, Cam Rising, and they're in a
Does he play?
battle. I think he's back. He should be back this week from what I've
Yeah,
seen.
because I was about to say that guy, Isaac Wilson's been playing.
Yep. Yep.
He's thrown 7 interceptions this year.
Jesus. Well, hopefully Cam Rising's back.
Yeah,
for
you're going to need him for that one. They're only a 6.5 point favor.
Both of those teams enter that game with only one loss on the season, so it's a big game there. But that conference race is looking very interesting. A lot of teams are involved in that, so it's gonna be exciting to see. And then next, number 10 Clemson traveling to Wake Forest. Cole, you got Wake Forest pulling the upset on Clemson.
Man, heck, no, never. Nah, coming to this game, we know what to expect from this offense, and we know the defense is going to show up. Give me Clemson big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Clemson will cover that game. I'm certain of it. Now let's get into the Red River rivalry. Number 1 Texas traveling to Oklahoma to face the Sooners. It's not a Big 12 matchup anymore. Now it's an SEC matchup. Who you got in that one?
This is kind of a shake-up.
It's not at Oklahoma. It's that neutral site.
No, it's at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
This is always a shaky game. It doesn't matter, if you're 5-0, 4-1, you're 2-3. It doesn't matter. It's the Red River rivalry at the end of the day. Texas is a 14.5 point favor going into this. It's kind of hard because Quinn Ewers coming back. Arch Manning's been playing great football. This Jackson Arnold kid. He's 61 for 102, 538, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not the best stats in the world, but Arch Manning's been lighting it up. But it's kind of shaky. I'm gonna take Texas. I'm gonna take Texas by 10 points, but I feel like it's gonna be a fourth quarter game. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma shows up. Brent Venables has that defense where it needs to be. It's just the offense has got to click.
Yeah.
Once they get that offense clicking, they'll be fine. And that's kind of expected. I mean, we're only in year 2 of Brent Venables, but his defense is going to be good wherever he goes. We just got to find that offensive click. But give me Texas by 10.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas as well in a close game, and I'm taking Texas because Oklahoma's got some questions at the quarterback position, and they're playing a Texas team that has been lights out on offense the whole season. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up in that fourth quarter with Texas's offense. All right, now possibly the game of the year. We'll see at the end of the season if it's the game of the year. But number 2 Ohio State at new Big 12 team and the number 3 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks.
Big 10.
That's at Big 12?
Yeah,
I'm at Big 10. My bad.
You're good. This is kind of a shaky one too. I mean, this is in Eugene, Oregon. Ohio State has never played there, I would guess. That's a long trip. That's almost equivalent to Stanford coming here. Will Howard on the year, he's 93 for 130 for 1,248 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This Ohio State team is very, very good. And I'm not a big fan of Ryan Day at all, but he's got this group where they want to be, obviously. But, with this Oregon team, Dylan Gabriel, and what's Oregon's coach's name?
Dan Lanning.
We've talked about Dan Lanning. I think Dan Lanning is probably the best person that could be leading that Oregon team. He fires me up, especially last year during that Colorado game is when he fired me up most. But give me Oregon at home. I think Oregon pulls away with this one at home. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to a fourth quarter battle. But at the end of the day, I think Oregon takes this one away from Ohio State.
You and I are agreeing on a lot today. I'm also taking Oregon. I think that this game, if you like offense, I think that this is going to be an amazing game for you to
I feel like there's going to be hardly any defense at all.
Yeah.
There's going to be points scored all game.
Yeah. I mean, this could be a very exciting, 50-14 48, 50,
Literally.
45 type of game.
Yeah. And
But,
Ohio State's a 3-point favor.
yeah. But give me Dylan Gabriel and Dan Lanning to come away with that win over Ohio State.
I like it.
All right, let's see if you and I keep agreeing here. We got number 9, Ole Miss, traveling to LSU. Big game. Both teams have one loss. So, where are you thinking?
I think I'm going to get right into this one. Give me Jackson Dart and the Ole Miss group on the road in LSU.
Yeah.
I don't think –
coming off of a dominant win against South Carolina.
Dominant win against South Carolina. They probably should have scored a lot more points.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly doesn't win big games.
Nope.
I don't count the South Carolina win as big as people were looking at. You know, they were 1-0 coming off of an Old Dominion win. So, Brian Kelly doesn't win big games. I mean, this dates back to his time at Notre Dame. I think Jackson Dart, Juice Wells, the tight end pre-scoring, he needs to get it. He needs to get a lot more action. I mean, that kid's great blocker. He's always downfield. He's like him and Jake Brenningstool always get up in the air, get passes. They kind of remind me of each other. I think Ole Miss absolutely goes into LSU and just dominates this game.
Yeah.
I think Garrett Nussmeier has a terrible game.
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm with you. I like Ole Miss a lot. I feel like they're so close each week to really being great on all 3 levels. Their defense, I mean, everyone the last couple of years has talked about Ole Miss's offense. But their defense has looked good, like really good this season.
Yeah.
Except for that Kentucky game, really. So,
Dude, Jackson Dart's stats this year are insane.
Yeah.
127 for 173 for 2,100 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's like a QBR of like 90 almost.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Kate Klubnik are right there together.
Yeah, he's lighting it up. But yeah, I'm going to take Ole Miss. We got one more. I feel like we're going to disagree on this one. But number 18, Kansas State, traveling to Colorado to face Deion Sanders and the Buffaloes. What are your thoughts?
Avery Johnson, this is a big game going to Colorado, I think, for the first time.
Night game, too.
Night game.
Mm-hmm. Colorado plays well in those night games.
We got to disagree at some point. Give me Kansas State on the road. They're a 3.5 point favorite coming into this game. I really do think that this is the game that Colorado finally needs to play somebody up to par. I mean, people are going to say that UCF wins this and that. UCF doesn't compare to Colorado's offense. You got Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball.
And UCF was favored pretty heavily heading into that game, too. Yeah.
Give me Avery Johnson in Kansas State. I mean, he's 77 for 126, 879 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I think he missed a couple games. But I mean, I think when a highly ranked team, they're 18th in the country coming into this game. Colorado's going to be jumping. It's a night game, as you said, in Boulder. I just feel like Shadur and Travis are going to be wondering where the camera is rather than where the football is. So give me Kansas State. They're coming in. They know what they're coming into.
Yeah,
they know the atmosphere, all the cameras, all the crap talking. They're prepared, and I think it's finally going to be the game that bites Colorado. So give me Kansas State on the road.
I'm taking Colorado, and I'm going to take them because I think that they look like a whole different team after their loss to Nebraska. And I like how they're playing at the moment. And I feel like it's just time that Deion Sanders and his team gets their first signature win. So give me Deion and Colorado.
There's a reason that they're not ranked, though. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, even looking at it,
they'll be ranked if they win this one.
I mean, Vanderbilt's getting more votes than they are.
Yeah.
But who knows? Yeah, you could be right. They could go in here and absolutely embarrass Kansas State, but I just feel like this is the game that they finally wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
They were doing all that crap talking at Nebraska. I mean, and, I don't know.
Nebraska's a hard place to go in and play, though.
It is. Are they still a one-loss team?
Nebraska?
Yeah.
They lost to Illinois, correct?
Oh, yeah, they're not even ranked, so.
Yeah. I I believe they are.
They're getting a lot of votes.
They are. They're 5-1. Oh, but they're playing at number 18 Indiana this weekend. That'll be, or no, next weekend. Next weekend. They have a bye week. Yeah.
I'm taking Nebraska in that one too.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana at home, or that's at home. They're not very tough. I don't even know how they're 6-0, but
Yeah.
got a great week of games. Hey,
We
I
do.
would say, is there a potential? I don't think so, only because I think Tennessee. I think Tennessee plays Alabama at home. I'm gonna look real quick. Yeah, next week we have Virginia at home, but then I think that week is the same week Alabama and Tennessee play. I was gonna say maybe a
It is, yeah. Bama and
win-loss
Tennessee.
Virginia, win-loss Clemson, maybe a college game day, but no, it's not gonna happen.
No,
Tony Elliott reunion. I mean, what if who does Tennessee got this week?
Florida.
What if they lose?
No.
2 losses.
They're
Come
not
on. Send them to
losing to
Clemson.
Florida. They're not losing to Florida.
Not at all. Yeah, right. Shake-up game. Who knows? Any given day, Vanderbilt proved that.
That's true. That's true.
But, yeah, you're probably right.
All right, everyone. Well, we appreciate you for joining us today. Cole and I will be back next Tuesday to discuss Clemson's game against Wake Forest and look ahead to their game against Virginia. We'll see y'all next week.